everybody had a good day. Maybe not. Market was pretty bearish, pretty ugly, but I mean, at the same time, it's not like we didn't see this coming. We did kind of see this coming. Did get one of the alerts that came out. This is buy the dip. So that's at the purple line here. We had historically test that purple line and bounce from here, so I think we could potentially see a bounce, a little bit of at least a sympathy bounce tomorrow, possibly. We'll see. Buffering. Oh, damn. I'm on the slow network, that's why. Let me switch. I don't know if I came back or not. Hopefully I did. Hopefully it didn't disconnect me. It's over. It's over. But let's see what the market outlook was like today. Apple up 2.5%, very strong today. Pfizer had a little bit of green today. Moderna gave up all the gains that it had yesterday. Moved up and then came back down. What's up, RB Nickel? Is the stream working? What earnings do we have today? Salesforce. Pretty crazy market though. Hope everybody is okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people just hurt today. The market is kind of all over the place. We have the gap down a lot. Oh my gosh, that gap down. Oof. So this is 0% here. So a lot of things were down today. There was only a few things that was up, and that was Pfizer, Apple, Lam Research. Those are like pretty much the few companies that was up. Like Tesla and Nike barely green for the day. Oh man, it's kind of scary. It's looking like we're setting up for a big downtrend. Honestly, it's setting up. I mean, this could be a potential bounce here too because it's at the purple line, and we typically bounce at the purple line. We've bounced there a lot of times, so this could be a dead cat bounce tomorrow. But honestly, only time will tell. We'll find out. Let's check out some of the earnings. Let's see how the earnings did after hours today. It was a rough day, man. Rough day. I mean, I didn't get affected because I kind of just chill out of the market for like this week, just waiting for the buy the dip opportunities. very little green, down and 10 cases up on 9%. Smart move, smart move. That was brutal. CRM. So let's check out some of the earnings stuff today. Intel CEO expressed conviction over accomplishing 5-year goal. Whoa, very sexy. Need Intel to drop a little bit more, come back to like $43 levels for us to buy the dip. But you know, they see that the revenue can potentially grow, recover. Said they're very bullish. They said they aim to increase the value of the company dramatically. So they say a lot of good things, man, for long-term investors of Intel. NetApp also reported earnings today. Let's see what's up. Earnings per share is $1.28 as opposed to $1.21. Sales is $1.57 as opposed to $1.55. 21% increase compared to the same period last year, and 10% increase in sales compared to last year. Stock was trading around $60 last year. Right now it's in 90, so it's almost 50+% increase. Huge move there. So price has achieved over a 50% increase, where sales and EPS hasn't seen that yet. So might see this gain give up itself in a little bit. Would not be surprised. Guidance is pretty wild there, 1.21 to 1.31 as opposed to 1.28. Sales is pretty wild too, 1.52 to 1.67 as opposed to 1.59. So a lot of uncertainty there. And then the full year 22 sales, they're looking at they're not looking to touch the estimate. So I'm not sure why it's running. It should be going down at this point, honestly. The market will probably correct itself and make this stock go down. Global Foundries also reported earnings today. Earnings per share is 7 cents as opposed to negative 58 cents year over year. So they're actually profitable margins this year. Sales is 1.7 million as opposed to 1.09 mil. Sales is up very strong, 55% increase compared to the same period last year. The stock just IPO from $45, so you know, no real expectation compared to last year, honestly. CRM, let's go, die. So CRM, you know, we're kind of looking for that CRM down move. If you guys played the lotto, you saw that we were looking for CRM to go to 180s. Is it 180s? Oh gosh, that's a far move. Wait, now that I realized it. I don't know. Maybe we'll get the move. Maybe we won't. How far is that? Wait, I didn't put 180s. I put 255. I must have misclicked here. Oh no, that's CrowdStrike. I misclicked. It's 255. I'm like thinking to myself, no way it's gonna go to 180s. Must be smoking. But 255, that's our range. It's starting to hit that direction. So I think we might actually get paid because we have 4 of those plays. The NTAP beat was not great. It's a pretty iffy beat. So I was looking for 255, 260s. If CRM can get to that range, yo, we are gonna get paid on the 255. I don't have a 240. I'm not sure who put the 240, but I don't have a 240. So we got these. They're extremely cheap. Wait, why would anybody buy the 240 though? $240s are kind of expensive for being that far out the money. But anyways, let's look at CRM's earnings. They actually beat too, so actually had a good earnings. Earnings per share is $1.27 as opposed to 92 cents. Sales is 6.86 as opposed to 6.80. They said that actually this is a weaker quarter compared to the same period last year at 27% decrease compared to last year's, and sales is actually a 26.59. So they had weaker margin in this quarter, but sales had actually increased. That's kind of weird. Is that a typo? And then for the next quarter, they think they're gonna pull about, I think they're gonna make about 7.2 billion as opposed to 6.8. So next quarter is supposed to be a good quarter for them. We'll see how they look year over year. Last year they were trading around the same price, around, I mean, not the same price, they were trading around 220s, 220s. So it's a little bit less. They're not performing that great, so I can see why it's coming down. Even though next quarter's guidance is up, they did run up a lot, so I could see them moving up further and further. But they're coming back down a little bit to present some buying opportunities. Oh god, this is really moving to 255. We might actually get paid really well. I'm starting to get excited. Haven't had a nice earnings win on CRM for a while, man. CRM says they also raised their full year revenue guidance to 26.39 to 26.40 as opposed to 26.33. I guess they might as well just put 26.39 at this point. Why even bother putting the 40? Damn, you guys licking your wounds. It's a tough day. I mean, we did talk about the potential for market pullback a little bit on Monday. You know, I tried to put a little bit guidance out there, not to buy the dip, because it was a nasty fake out though, because when you look at this chart, you know, we had that big drop and then had that bounce. And a lot of people got bullish on that bounce, but that's what you call a bull trap, you know? You trap people coming back into that bounce, thinking it was going to recover really easy. But, you know, usually when you see a big amount of selling like this over here, and it bounces, that's just like the big guys unloading. They're just like getting the opportunity to get people to hold the bag for them, you know, and then they're going to unload some more. Because the volume that they put in to get you to buy, they just put it back right here. You know, as people are buying up, they started just dropping a little bit, and then they just unload it more and more. So it's come down. Ideally, we'd love to see it come to this 252 areas for the nice buy the dip opportunity. So that's a pretty interesting area coming up. 452s, we're at 457 right now. So it's very close. That could be a good area to load up. Even right now, it could be an interesting area on the daily as well. So between these two ranges, you can see another dead cat bounce. Somewhere from here, I think we could potentially see a dead cat bounce at 460s if we go to like 452s. Assuming that it's gonna follow this trend, and you know, all these other trends that had happened there. Assuming it's gonna follow all these other moves, this would be your bounce right here at the point of control of 252.26. But that's why sometimes I just like to sit back and wait for the opportunities. Damn, CRM is. I really hope CRM doesn't recover, man. It's gonna suck. And we're still gonna hit 100% even if it stays around 260s tomorrow, or even 270s. Damn, this play is about to go from 200 to $1,000 if it stays in this range by Friday. It's gonna be nice. So ZS also reported today. Let's see how they did. Thank you. You heard that? So ZS Q1 EPS is 14 cents. It's going to 12 cents. Sales is 230 mil as opposed to 208. This is unchanged from last year, and however, the sales had a 61% increase compared to last year. Look at last year's price. Company was trading around 157. Right now, it's trading around 346. So if they would double of 157, that would have been like 314. Right now it's at 360. So it's moved a lot. The stock price has appreciated a lot compared to last year's price, and sales and EPS hasn't really caught up to that level yet. So kind of be a little careful here. Could see some pullback too. Once market prices it. Netflix, I got you. We'll check in a little bit. Was Netflix up today? I feel like it should have been up. Box.com also reported today. Earnings per share is 22 cents as opposed to 21 cents. Sales is 224 mil as opposed to 218 mil. It says this is a 10% increase compared to last year, and 14% increase in sales compared to last year. Yo, a lot of earnings are just going up today. It's kind of weird. I think it's just I feel like a lot of it is just sympathy move. They just want to move back up to recover. Last year, company was trading between 17 to $19 in that range. Company had about 15% increase. About 1955. Right now, it's trading around 24. So it's a little bit higher than it was last year. They're expecting a better Q4 in EPS and sales though. So guidance is good. Full year guidance is up too, and full year guidance on the sales side is bullish as well. So that's good. Looking good for that company. Hewlett Packard. I feel like everybody was expecting Hewlett Packard to beat because their hardware side did really good. But it looks like the software side is giving up a little bit. Let's see how they report. Hewlett Packard's earnings per share is 52 cents as opposed to 48 cents. Sales is 7.35 billion as opposed to 7.38. That's a miss on the sales side. 40% increase in EPS compared to the same period last year. And sales is only a 2% increase compared to last year. So last year, company was trading around $11. 11 times 1.4. Oops. Would have put it around 1540. Sales increase would have kept it around flat-ish, between 11 to 12. So I guess if this comes back down a little bit more, it's probably a buying opportunity. I seen this happen last time with this stock, HP. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Pretty sure I saw it last time. Yeah. So last time they had a really good earnings. The company pulled back. It dropped a lot, and then eventually after it finished dropping, it was a huge buying opportunity because they had a good earnings. Same thing here as well. They had a good earnings. So if you see green over here, see how this ticker, how the E is green, that usually means that they had a great earnings top and bottom, and the company moved down, dropped a lot, and came to this range for support and recovered. So maybe we'll see that again. It'd be funny, but it's done that almost every time. Looking to ask buy January calls. It's not a bad idea. The area I would probably look to add, as I mentioned before, I would probably wait for at least like 452 to consider adding bullet positions or adding buy the dip positions. Second area I probably look to add would be around 446-ish, in that range. So I wouldn't necessarily want to buy the dip at this area right now. I mean, I could be wrong. If you guys are feeling FOMO and you want to buy the dip, feel free to. But let me show you what I'm looking at and the reason why I wouldn't like be so interested to jump into buying the dip right now. And that reason is because the imbalance is really crazy. Like the market on sale and balance for the day is 8.5 billion to the sell side. So that's a lot of selling, man. We had $8.5 billion to the sell side today. And you can see like a huge green candle on the daily at the close too. So even with that buying at the close, there was a lot of selling pressure. So usually when there's that much selling pressure, it's gonna take some time before it's like, recovers right away. So yesterday I think we saw like about 4 billion to the sell side. I don't know why Bazinga is not reporting this anymore on here. Maybe we gotta refresh it. Let me see. Peloton, man, so beat up, it can't even get beat up anymore. Peloton got so beat up during the last month, it hasn't even dropped anymore. It's just holding the 43 area. But yeah, they haven't really Bazinga hasn't really posted it for a while. I guess they don't want to scare the people, man. But I saw on Thinkorswim posted. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is the market on close imbalance. The market on close imbalance is 8.5 billion. The sell side. That means there was way more significant selling pressure today. So that's why I would hesitant to get into calls. See what else reported today. AMBA. I think this is one of the chip company, semiconductor, video chips and stuff, whatnot like that, and whatnot. Earnings per share is 57 cents as opposed to 49 cents. Sales is 92 as opposed to 90 million. 533% increase compared to last year's. Wow. Had really good margins. And 64% increase in sales compared to last year. These numbers are pretty phenomenal. I remember the stock used to be 40 something dollars, man. It was right here. Last year in July 2020, it was trading at 40, 45, 46 dollars. I was like, yo, why am I not buying this? It's hitting all-time highs right now. It's crazy. So a year ago, this company was trading around $80. Right now, it's trading around 180, 180 plus. So it's already gone up $100 plus. It's up over. The price has increased over 100%. On a 2-year basis, the price also increased over 150%. So it's been a pretty strong move. EPS has justified that, but sales is still playing a little bit catch up there. So pretty interesting move there. Next quarter, they're actually looking to see they could possibly see less sales compared to estimates. So they might hit it, or they might hit it a little bit on the lower side, give or take. So that's going to be interesting. I guess supply chain is going to be an issue for them as well. Let's check out some of the stocks that you guys are asking me to take a look at, like Netflix and MRK. Oof, Netflix came back down. So Netflix is actually at a pretty good area right now. What happened? The background music is too loud. It's just driving you nuts. Let me change it to something else. My bad. I have no clue how loud it is, honestly. Sometimes it's like that. Yo, just let me know. Feel free to let me know, cause I don't hear it as well too. Um, is there any news for Netflix that pulled the stock from 674 to 642? Well, it doesn't necessarily always need news to get it down that far. I think a lot of times it's just the weather. So, every single stock, it's part of the market, right? And they're part of the index. So, indexes like SPY and QQQ, if those index are bearish, it's naturally going to pull every single other stock down. So, when we looked at the market bubble chart, almost every stock was down today, right? Or at 0%. There was only like five, 6 stocks that is above the 0%, while everything else is just down. So that just goes to show you that today was extreme red day. Um, and we'll visualize it in the regular map too, right? And you can see this in the map, like across the board, like everything is red. Like nothing was safe from this this drop in the market. So except for Apple, Apple, Pfizer, and Tesla were the only thing that was safe from this drop. But how long would these guys be safe? That's the other question, right? So that's probably why Netflix dropped. It came to a good area. This could be a potential area for buy the dip moves. It's at my yellow line on the chart, on my indicator. So the yellow line on the 195-minute chart right now, the yellow line is typically the make or break area. So it usually holds some substance, where this could be a potential area where it could chop and bounce a little bit. So if it bounced from here, we could potentially see a move back to 660s. So 645 to 660s is not that hard of a move. It's about 15 points. It could potentially chop there. Otherwise, the next level on Netflix could be potentially down here, which would be 592s. That's another like 50-point drop. If market doesn't see any recovery, and I think a lot of thing is just like people didn't understand how to price the whole situation of this new COVID variant. Have you guys? I'm sure you guys heard the news about it, and you guys read the news on this new variant from South Africa, right? So that was kind of Netflix. Check out MRK. So I posted a little bit over the weekend about it, but I think a lot of people just didn't really like understand the severity of the things and stuff. But if you think about it like this, um, if you think about it like from the aspect that all these countries are starting to lock down and they're starting to close their borders again, and this is just the beginning, man. Like it hasn't even spread yet. Like let me see if I can find spread, because I was looking at it earlier actually. So I was looking at it earlier from this news from The Economist. So it says days after the new variant was identified in Southern Africa, countries around the world are confirming that they have found cases of it too. But because the lack of genomic sequencing means many cases are likely to have gone undetected, apparently. So this is what I guess this is this is what is looking like right now, the confirmed cases as of November 29th. So you see some cases in South Africa. Um, what is this? This Australia? What is that continent over there? I think that's Australia. I could be wrong, but I think this is and then we have some cases in Canada. I think like maybe 10 cases already, and then Europe. I guess this is like Italy or Spain. Italy, Spain, somewhere in that area. And this is China. Is that Korea? Japan? But yeah, this case is like starting to get confirmed. It's only been a few days out. So and I think that's just the beginning. So if we're already having supply chain issues, um we're already having like all these other situations where the economy is struggling to recover, and we thought for a second there we thought that this was the end of it, right? For a second there we thought like, yo, we're at like 75% vaccination rate for most places, or 70 plus percent or 50 plus percent, and we think we're like at the home stretch of like beating this whole goddamn COVID situation, and we think we're like at the home stretch, third base, about to hit it and be gone with it. And now they have this new variant that this is mutating like crazy, has like so many spikes and stuff, and whatever, and everybody is starting to shut down. And from like looking at the basic aspect of things, it could potentially set back um it could potentially set everything back at least 2 months. Best case scenario, right? We would get a setback for 2 months. And the reason that I would say that's the best case scenario is because you think of it like this, right? Say we look at all the vaccine manufacturers and whatnot, and Moderna being supposedly like one of the top guys out there, right, in terms of the vaccine. And they're like, yeah, this variant is a joke. We can modify our vaccine to take care of it and whatnot. And it says that, you know they said that they can take care of it within how long? They said it wouldn't take them that long to like to manipulate their vaccines to adapt to it. But they said it would take them like around 60 days or something, um, to do that, and then to test it, and then it probably take them like another 30 days or whatever to manufacture and stuff. But that's at like the best case scenario for the first world countries. For like the third world countries and second world countries, whatever, for all these other like non first world countries, that timeline is probably way different. It's probably 3x. That timeline is probably much longer than anticipated. So we're looking at 2 months to 6 months of lockdown, because they would have to essentially lock down first, right? Um, like the best way for them to handle this, they would have to, if they were to take this as a serious case, I'm not talking about the fact that if you didn't, I'm just talking about the pro-vaxxer side. I'm not even gonna talk about the other side for a second. So we're just gonna imagine this as if the stock market is a pro-vaxxers, right? Um, and in order for them to like get the vaccine ready, they would have to, quarantine, make sure people aren't getting infected and people aren't spreading it, so that they can effectively adjust their vaccines to adapt to the new variant. Then they have to do beta tests and all that stuff, before they could even like produce it. And they said the minimum time is 60 days, which means we would be locked down for another 2 months. Like we would be going back to like restriction and locked. Wait, what the hell? Sperm is being used to create eco-friendly alternatives to plastics. Huh? Salmon sperm. What? The gel is then molded into different shapes and freeze dry. This removes the moisture, which makes it solidify. And wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You have environmentally friendly sperm plastic. Wow. Would you drink from an eco-friendly plastic cup made from salmon, sperm, and vegetable oil? I mean, I mean, why not? Maybe I'll get some omega-3. Maybe I'll get some omega-3 with that. Why not? Is a cum cup. Hey yo, why not, right? Why not? Yo, maybe you can consume the cup too, and then you get like your daily dose of omega-3 at the same time. Think about that. Oh, genius. Zero waste. Exactly. Exactly, man. Yo, why don't I make ice cream with that and I just one shot it, you know? There we go. But but yeah, what was I talking about before? This is rambling something, I forgot. That took me off. Oh yeah, Powell also talked today. Um it's kind of funny, man. It's kind of funny what they talked about. So I don't know if you guys were listening to the meeting or not, but I thought it was kind of odd. It, it it's kind of scary at the same time because they and they've been using this word transitory for a long time, right? And I remember first time hearing this word and I wasn't sure what it means. I was like, what does transitory even mean when it comes to inflation? Then I looked it up and it says, oh, they don't think inflation is gonna last. They think like this current situation of high rate of inflation is transitory, which means that it was gonna pass over. They think it's just a fad, like it's just one of those like diet fads that is gonna be gone in like a few months. But obviously it hasn't disappeared. They've been talking about how inflation was transitory for the last year or so, and that like I remember last year when I was doing Twitch stream on other channel, and I was like, yo, Popeye has already increased their bucket price, and that was already like almost like a 30% increase in food price. And now a year later, we're seeing some places increase in food price like up to 100%. Man, it's crazy. I was just having some noodles the other day, and I went to this noodle shop, right? And they don't have a menu, so I looked up the menu online, and the previous menu was like 550. It was 550 for like a bowl of noodles or whatever. Um, and the price today is $9. 1 year later, like how did it go from 550 to $9, man? That's nuts, right? Can you imagine how little value your dollar got from that? So they talked today, and the word transitory has different meaning for different people. To many, it carries a sense of short-lived. We tend to use it to mean that it won't leave a permanent mark in the form of higher inflation, Powell said. I think it's probably a good time to retire that word and try to explain more clearly what we mean. It's funny, like they literally make up the hardest words possible to explain things so people don't understand it too. Yo, that's so true, bro. That's so true. Imagine like you know what? I wish that would have happened to me. That would have been a fun experience. Cause like one day you're going there, you're getting your like lunch, and it's like 5.50, right? The next day you come back, you're like, yo, let me get the same thing I got yesterday. And they're like $9, please, sir. And you're like, what? What just happened? $9? I just paid 5.50 for it yesterday. Yo, that's kind of funny, man. That would be I wonder if anybody did a skit on that. That would be kind of funny. Powell also said the Fed will be discussing a potential acceleration of its monthly asset purchase tapering. The Fed reduces monthly purchase of U.S. Treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities from 120 to 105 in November. At this point, the economy is very strong and inflationary pressure are higher, and is therefore appropriate, in my view, to consider wrapping up the taper of our asset purchase, perhaps a few months sooner. Oh, that's why the market dropped even harder today too. So why is important? Last week, Biden announced that he'll be renominating Powell for a second term as Fed chair. Powell and the Fed face an extremely challenging economic environment heading into 2022. U.S. inflation levels has been at multi-decade highs for months, but the economy is still struggling with labor shortage and supply chain disruptions. Meanwhile, whoops. Meanwhile, the new Omicron variant of COVID 19 has once again raised concerns about the potential ongoing economic impact of the pandemics. On Monday, Biden said there is no need for Americans to panic about the Omicron variant and said US lockdowns are off the table for now. Somebody's gonna make him eat his words, man. I'm telling you. He's gonna have to eat his words in like a month. Bazinga's take: Federal Reserve tapering is removing a massive monthly stimulus to the US economy, so it's understandable why concerns over more aggressive tapering would trigger weakness in stock price. However, assuming the Omicron variant is not significantly more deadly or vaccine resistant than the previous COVID variant, Powell's commentary on the health of the US economy is actually good news from a fundamental perspective. I agree with that actually. I think that tapering is actually good. I wish they have done it months ago before they let the stock market ran so far away. But I can understand why they didn't want to do it, because if they started to taper, they started to raise interest rate, then companies that are borrowing money would be spending too much money. And they would have to be paying a higher interest rate, which means they wouldn't want to borrow money. If they didn't want to borrow money, if companies don't want to borrow money, then they're not gonna hire employees and stuff. They're just gonna try to cut costs across the board. So they were trying to get a lot of companies to not cut the cost and just hire more people so that they can recover the job market. But obviously, the company, most of these corporate companies know better. They know that it's challenging times. They know that they're transitioning to like AIs and robots and stuff like that, and they just don't want to hire a lot of people. So no matter what the government do, they're just not gonna like go out there and hire people left and right when they just like lost half their workforce, and they're still operating pretty efficiently for most companies. Like most companies that lost half its workforce are still operating pretty efficiently. There are some that aren't, but even that, like they could probably operate at a great efficient rate at 75%. So there's no way the economy is gonna like jump in the job market. So they better just raise the interest rate now, and so that inflation doesn't get out of hand, because inflation is nuts, yo. People need to stop raising food prices, because I don't want to be paying like $15 for noodle next, like at some cheap spot, man. Think about how much food is just gonna be a big part of your paycheck if this thing keep going. Like if you, what's monthly grocery cost? If monthly grocery cost is like $300 and inflation jumps another like 50%, you're gonna spend $600 easily. Wait, I'm smoking. It's not even $300 a month. It's like $300 a week. $600 a week times 4 weeks. That's $2,400 just on food, man. Jesus. It's too crazy. That's too crazy, man. They need to chillax with this inflation game. That's true. That's true, man. You're right. A lot of retail investors aren't going to be able to invest anymore. Hey, what's up, Ian? That's true. That's a very good point. I mean, and you know what? Have you guys been doing Black Friday shopping? I was having some FOMO yesterday thinking about the inflation stuff. And I was just looking at like a lot of like the clothing brands and stuff, and like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a lot of the clothing brand were still still relatively cheap. Shell shocker deals and new eggs were awful. I mean, new egg deals has been trash for the last 2-3 years, bro. Where you been? But I was just thinking, right? Like I don't think a lot of the clothing manufacturer have actually raised their price a lot yet. I don't think they like really like adjusted for the inflation because um a lot of these companies manufacture their stuff overseas, right? So I think because of that they haven't really priced it in as much yet. And I think eventually they're gonna catch up, just like how all the restaurants started catching up. Like I remember a few months ago we were talking about how like some restaurants didn't catch up to the inflation price yet. So I would like try to hunt for these restaurants and go like, go get like go get my food there, right? But slowly every single restaurant started catching up to inflation and they started jacking up their prices 30 to 50%. Um, you know? So I think it's only a matter of time before clothing companies started jacking up their price. So when I had that realization on Monday, I was like, "Oh snap!" I started having massive FOMO, and I went to like all the clothing brand that I liked. I just started buying stuff and stocking up, yo. I essentially have enough sweatpants for like the next 3 years. I stocked up on my Nike sweatpants. Yo, these like $40-$50 sweatpants is probably the best price that I'll ever get in the next 3 years. Next thing you know, Nike sweatpants is gonna be like $100 per pair for their basic sweatpants. Was it just me, or was there not that much hype for Black Friday? Um, I think that's priced in. I think they remember like before Black Friday, we looked and we were talking about how like a lot of companies were pricing for the fact that this Black Friday wasn't going to be that crazy because there was supply chain issues. So a lot of company already knew they weren't going to have a lot of products, so they weren't really trying to push it out like that either. I think US is probably if that's 70% of Canada, the if like 70% of the Canadians live paycheck to paycheck, we're probably at like 90% then. I don't know. Nike sweats are the new NFTs. I believe it. Hopefully, I mean they haven't increased their price yet, but yeah, hopefully they would. You know, hopefully they would at some point or another. But that's gonna be crazy, man. I can see them like I can see like they're already moving to the $100 sweatpants too. Like if you guys go to Nikes, right? Um, they're already starting to like have like hundred something dollar sweatpants. Like I remember the other day I bought like a like $70-$80 sweatpants and I was like, yo, this is probably the cheapest I'll get. Whatever, I'll take it. I was like, as long as this lasts me like a while, I'm good. And then I bought like a bunch of shoes too. See, man, the regular price is already $80. Same thing with their thermal fit is like $90 now. Like $60 plus is the standard price. Did it get cheaper than it was the other day? What the hell? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see like $80-$90 for the next years. That's how they get you, man. This is the end. This is the end. At some point, inflation is gonna be so crazy that it's actually gonna be cheaper to live in the metaverse. Because you can just get like gears for much cheaper. What's up? We could take a look at some stocks. It's 4:54 right now. Could probably take a look at some stocks for the next 10 minutes if you guys have chart stocks that you guys want us to chart out and take a look at. I'm liking MRK. Somebody asked earlier, I have an alert set around $71 to buy the dip. I think healthcare is gonna be a big reversal. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you. Thanksgiving was fulfilling. I hope you had a great one as well. XLH. Let me find that healthcare ETF. Wow, biotech ETF is actually down a lot. Real estate ETF. XLU, utilities. Mining ETF. XLF, coming to the buy the dip area. Where's the healthcare ETF? No, I have it here. There we go. This is the healthcare ETF. Cubo TB on the weekly chart looks pretty interesting. It's at the make or break line on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, it's looking a little bit weak. It looks like it wants to break it. Over here, I can see a break under. It's not getting any money flow or momentum coming in. So I would not touch it yet. Probably wait until next support at 1780s. And then you got the next level at $15. Might even wait for that $15 level of support, honestly, at this point. Or unless you get a confirmation to the upside. But I don't think we have that confirmation yet. Things are looking very bullish. There's no signal. Usually when you get this green candle, I mean not green candle, this green arrow to the upside, that means money flow has came in, and we haven't had that opportunity yet. Yeah, it looks like it's breaking down further and further. Let's take a look what you're talking about. MMEV. Mind Medicine ordinary shares. I'm not able to pull up the data here. It's not even showing up. Oh, it's on the Canadian exchange? I wouldn't know. I can't pull up data for Canadian exchange. I don't have the data for it, man. I can't pull it up. So I wouldn't know. Let's check out CRM. Let's see where CRM landed. Oh, it tried to make a little recovery. No, you don't. Continues to die, please. I think that's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys are okay. For those of you that are looking to buy the dip, here's that level again. That level again at 452 area. If you're looking to buy the dip on the short-term side, I would take only a nibble there. And then secondary by the dip level would be 447 areas. That's it for today, guys. I'm gonna call it a day here. I'll be back here tomorrow to check out some of the other earnings from CrowdStrike, Snowflakes, OKTA, Splunk, Five Below, PVH, Belva, and Elastics. Take care and have a good night, guys.